Okay, what do you guys know about stem cell research? Like, what have you heard?
Not much. What do you know?
Well, I think I've heard that stem cell research allows allows.
I know it's part of the abortion debate that some people want to be able to start fetuses growing just the first few days or so that they can harvest the stem cells and do research. And some people are against that, and some people are for that. And that's what, what's his name? Family Ties guy has Parkinson's disease.
Fox.
Fox. Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox
was campaigning for them to allow stem cell research for Parkinson's and spinal injuries.
Yeah, but can't you harvest stem cells from
Placentas and stuff?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Okay,
Ash, can
before I explain it, what's your stance on it right now? How do you feel about that?
I don't really have a clue. I don't really have a stance. I don't understand it enough to have an opinion.
I think there's a lot of benefit that can happen from the research as long as, you know, I think it's wrong if it's coming from like aborted babies and stuff, but if it's coming from the placenta or the, you know, things like that that can be salvaged through birth, through a natural birth, then I think it's a huge opportunity to help people.
Okay, so a stem cell basically is a cell that hasn't been coded for anything yet. So it's not a skin cell yet, it's not a heart cell yet, it's just a cell. Each of our cells has all the DNA to create any part of our body. So they used to think that you could get that stem cells were just stem cells no matter what, but now they're figuring out that there's adult stem cells and embryonic stem cells. So adult ones would be ones taken from like the umbilical cord or the placenta. Those are adult ones, and they're not as useful as the embryonic ones are. So there's embryonic, adult, and then there's iPS cells, which are adult cells in your body. So like the cells you have right now that are transferred back into stem cells, which those are not as useful because they don't code the same as embryonic cells.
So actually the embryonic cells have to come from a fetus?
It has to be in the first few days. So it comes from a thing called a blastocyst, which is the fertilized egg after it's divided a few times. So it's within like 5 to 14 days. And that's before it even is in your uterus yet. It's still like in your fallopian tube. It hasn't like attached to the wall. That's when they would grab it. But they're making them in labs in vitro, so it's not even, it's that when people like can't have their own babies and then they do the egg and sperm in a lab, they're taking the extra ones of those and using those for stem cell research because otherwise they'd get thrown away. But there's a huge debate because people have different ideas of when life starts. So some people say it's wrong to throw them away even, and that they should be grown in a woman's body and adopted out. And some people say that they shouldn't be used for research and should just be thrown away. It's like a huge deal. But the blastocyst is, when you take a mechanical pencil, it would fit on the tip of the pencil. That's how small it is. It's before any of the cells have become anything else. So when you see an embryo and it has like a little heart or like little fingers or eyes, anything like that, it's too far gone already. And those are adult stem cells.
So what regulates people from putting these things into petri dishes and creating them all the time? What regulates that? Because if you believe that life starts when the cells merge together, when the egg and the sperm are together, then what? I mean, I understand.
You mean like what laws?
Well, I understand saving the ones that would be wasted anyway. Mm-hmm. But what prevents people from just creating them for the sole purpose of research?
Well, like, what do you mean? Where would they get them if they weren't donated?
Well, I'm sure that people could be paid to extract their eggs and their sperm. I'm sure there's lots of people that would be lining up in droves because they don't feel that it's wrong.
I have no idea. I haven't heard of people doing that. I have no idea. So common misconceptions are that these are aborted babies that are being used for stem cell research. The truth is the blastocysts were created in a lab and never in a woman's body. Myth, the embryos have recognizable body parts, like I said. Truth is that the stem cells come from blastocyst. Myth, people think it's illegal in the US to do embryonic stem cell research, when in reality Bush only pulled federal funding for it, but it is still allowed to go on. So they're trying to do private research with it, but it's really hard without federal funding to be really moving forward. Yeah, a lot of people say, why don't you just use induced pluripotent stem cells, the adult ones that are reverted back, but like I said, they don't code the same. So they're really unpredictable. They'll be in the petri dish and they might be trying to grow like a heart or something, and all of a sudden one of the cells will turn into bone because that's what it originally was, and it'll revert back. So they're really unpredictable, but it's really cool because they're using stem cells to create body parts. Like they've created beating hearts and bladders and stuff. They take the mold and put the cells on it, and then they grow in the mold, and the mold disintegrates, and it becomes a body part. Yeah. It's smaller than a normal one, but they've made that happen. It's really cool. Like the heart will beat. The cells themselves will beat.
Great.
In the dish. It's pretty cool. So, yeah. For my personal views, I think it becomes a life once it's implanted in the uterus. And also, I wouldn't think it would be right to take a blastocyst out of a woman. I mean, not that it said that they didn't, but I think that'd be wrong to do, because to me, when the life is being created through sex, every soul was meant to happen, in my opinion. But if it's the leftover ones in a lab and they're being thrown away anyways, then I think that's okay to use.
I think one of the problems that I can see with this, and looking further down the road, if this is acceptable to do, is that what prevents people then from growing, in a sense, babies from these cells that they modify and change? So I want a blonde baby with blue eyes, and she needs to be 5'4", and she needs to be. If you have the technology to do that, I think morality starts to come in, because you're essentially playing God.
Well, that's not really what stem cell research is about. I don't know if you could do that. That'd be like gene silencing or something. But this is like making new organs, or this would cure diseases and stuff. It's not really like you can pick your baby's eye color or something. That's different. It's not the same thing. Stem cells are like growing new body parts. So, or like if you had a part of your brain taken out, and then you put stem cells in there, then they would grow back and form that part of the brain. So it's like regenerative bioscience.
So when they put the cells in there to regrow the brain, is it their own cells, or is it someone else's cells?
If you use your own cells, that's when you revert them from adult cells back.
Mm-hmm.
But that'd be really unpredictable, because if you got it from like your skin or something, it could turn into skin when it's growing in your brain. But the embryonic stem cells, those, since they're not coded for anything yet, and they're not like, they haven't become anything yet, they're just cells without any purpose, then you put them in the brain and they look at all your other brain pieces and they just know what to do and grow back and do what all the other cells are in your brain are doing.
But when everybody's brain is different and those cells came from someone else's body and genetic makeup, then would it truly be that person's brain, or would it be part of someone else's brain because of the coding that was originally in it?
It's just a cell, so it's not a cell that... this is how Miss Fordham described it. She said it'd be as if you took somebody from another classroom and put it in our biopsych class, or our biotech class, mm-hmm. and then they'd look around and kind of figure out what they were supposed to do by looking at everyone else. She said that's what it was like.
So it's really like an empty cell that has the potential to do anything, and so
yeah.
It's going to follow the lead of the cells that are already there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, there you go.
I think it's revolutionary and very cool.
It's pretty awesome.